feeling for the metal stepladder. I carried it to the window. Luke was already in position, pressed against the side of Hannah's house, right between her mother's perfectly manicured rosebush and some giant flowering shrub. When I had the ladder in place, he poked his head out and checked to be sure the coast was clear, and then he stepped into a sliver of light coming from the street lamp. He took off running across the lawn, his green and white scarf trailing behind him, and his matching Foothill Falcons jacket catching the wind like a pair of wings. He played it up, throwing his arms to each side, flapping them like a bird, or a bat, or an insane person. I covered my mouth to stifle my laugh as he climbed up the stepladder. God, you're a dork. He swung his leg over the sill and landed on the floor with a soft thud. Then he hooked his thumb toward Hannah's house. She doesn't think I'm a dork. She thinks I'm dead sexy. The smile slipped from my lips. Across the lawn, I could see Hannah's face, low in the bottom corner of her window between her curtain and the white-painted frame. I started to say, ignore her, like I always did. But then I changed my mind. If she insisted on watching us, we might as well give her something to see. I unwrapped his scarf and slid his jacket off, letting it drop to the floor. I pulled his t-shirt over his head. "What are you doing?" he asked. I brushed my fingertips down his bare arms and over his chest, and then I pressed my body against his, kissing him as I eased him backward toward the window. I pressed his shoulders against the glass and kissed him even harder. He made a show of running his fingers through my hair. Hannah was dying. I could feel her scorn and disgust all the way across the grass. I imagined her grasping that cross pendant of hers so tightly it left 4 little indentations in her fingers. As she prayed for my soul, and prayed even harder for God to strike down my evil boyfriend, sneaking in my bedroom after curfew. But to be fair, the image was over the top. I started giggling. I couldn't help it. Luke flipped me around, pressed my back against the glass, and lifted my hands above my head. I laughed even harder. "You're going full soap opera," I said. "Hey, you started it." I hitched one leg over his hip and pulled him closer. "She's totally watching," he said. "Keep going." But I didn't want to keep going. I wanted to kiss Luke for real, not for show, and certainly not for Hannah. I think she's seen enough. I looked over my shoulder, blew a kiss in her direction, and pulled down hard on the shade. "Are you ever going to tell me what happened with you two?" Luke asked. "Nope." I didn't see the point. Hannah and I hadn't said a word to each other in over 3 months. She didn't go to school with us, and between my play rehearsals and her church choir practices, our paths rarely crossed. It wasn't the way I wanted it, but it was the way it was. I led him over to my bed, and when he sat on the edge and parted his legs, I stepped in between them. I let my fingers get lost in his dark brown curls and tried not to think about Hannah. "Well, when you two start talking again, remind me to thank her." "For what?" "I'm going to fall asleep tonight thinking about that kiss." That made me smile. 273, I thought to myself. Only I didn't think it to myself. I said it out loud. Luke pulled back and looked at me. "What did you just say?" "Nothing." I felt the flush heat my cheeks. I hoped it was dark enough in the room to keep Luke from noticing. "Why did you say 273? "I didn't. I said—" I tried to think of something that rhymed with 73, but I was coming up blank. Luke wasn't about to let it drop. He brought his hands to my hips and pulled me toward him. "Come on, tell me." "I can't. It's embarrassing." "It's me," he said, as he undid the first button on my blouse. "What is it? You have